Welcome to the ride. I promise that this game is going to be full of exciting changes and wonderful new opportunities. I'm lying, of course, but then we are headed for the politics floor. But first, I need to take a little straw poll. How many contestants are there? All by yourself? Well, no worries. There'll be enough trivia and comedy for 3 humans. Is this the first time on the ride for you? Welcome back. We may tease you a lot, but we've got you on the spot. Welcome back. Please type in your name. Well, isn't that intriguing? You have the same name as one of the 12 apostles. As you know, your buzzer is the key with the B on it. These little elevator jaunts always end too soon. Oh well, see you at the bottom.
It's time for the show where high culture and pop culture collide. This episode of You Don't Know Jack, The Ride, is brought to you by Inoffensive Eddie's Bland Suit Emporium. Inoffensive Eddie says, if they remember you were in the room, your suit's too loud. And now, please welcome your host, Cookie.
Welcome to the game. It's nice to see ya. Well, actually it isn't, but you know what all the great politicians say. Every hello is a vote. Oh, remember, do as I say. This is not a democracy. Hit your buzzer to select the... Okie doke, let's check out the category. You can't spell politics without P-O-T. You ready? Let's go. Say you're invited to a joint session. Who's the guest of honor at this party? The president, the vice president, the speaker of the House, or a foreign dignitary? A joint session of Congress brings the House and Senate together to hear the president make a speech. So the president might speak, but he doesn't inhale. Hit your buzzer to choose the value. Hey, you can live on that. Here's your category. In politics, you must lie like a cheap rug. You know, back when Washington and Jefferson were president, men wore those silly wigs. And Bill Clinton's haircut is always a hard news item, so I was thinking, if Bill Clinton wore the last wig president on his head, with what dashing new look could he impress the ladies? His mane of Monroe, his forelock of Fillmore, his coiffure of Cleveland, or his tousle of Taft? In case you're wondering, it's just about the only way for people to notice Millard Fillmore. The thing is, if you notice that it's a wig, etiquette says you're supposed to act as if you're a member of the Know-Nothing Party. Hey, buzz in to select the value. We're calling this one the Capitol Dome sprang a leak. Okay, prepare yourself. $3,417 is on the line here. And the question is, if it begins raining cats and dogs in the Capitol, from what will the lawmakers have to protect themselves? Temps, lobbyists, reporters, or leftover bills? It's yours if you want it.
Meow meow, Senator. Meow meow, budget cuts, meow.
Senator, what is Congress ruling about the shortage of real corones?
Well, what do we have here? Annoying leftover or stray bills that deal with minor issues are called cats and dogs. But having all those cats and dogs around really covers up the everyday stink of corruption. Okay, hit your buzzer and try to snag the highest value. I like to call this category, he'd make Jesse Helms look like a liberal black woman. Hey, you know how on the Dukes of Hazzard, Boss Hogg is a crooked politician and Roscoe P. Coltrane is a corrupt sheriff? Well, say Boss Hogg runs for president with Roscoe as his running mate. According to the 12th Amendment, what will be true? Bo and Luke couldn't run against them, Roscoe wouldn't have to be a U.S. citizen, Boss Hogg would have to be old and white, or electoral voters couldn't vote for them both. Watch and learn. The 12th Amendment states that if the president and vice president are from the same state, then electoral voters in that state can't vote for both of them. What? You want a joke? You think the Constitution is supposed to be funny? All right, buzz in for the cash.
If you're a liar and need a job, consider politics. So Liars, 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 or sign up for law school.
Welcome to Liars. Remember to buzz in on the first letter of the answer you have in mind. If you collect all the letters, you grab the cash. Let's do it. Short for Sylvester. You're a sly one. To tear or to scam. Let her rip. Help, I've sprung out blank. Take a leak. Demise and blank proposal. Decent. One more letter and the bonus is yours. TV equals blank box. Movie star's profession. Actor. Righteous. Liars. You got the bonus. That's what your current score looks like. Let's keep going. All right, bang your buzzer and grab. You can do a lot worse than that. Let's check out your category. Always a bridesmaid, never the president. Get your buzzer finger ready. Here we go. Who died and made the president pro tempore boss of the country? The president, the vice president, the speaker of the house, or all of the above? The president pro tempore backs up the VP as head of the Senate. He's third in line for the presidency, following the vice president and the speaker of the house. But don't think he doesn't have a plan for redecorating the executive washroom just in case. Okay, select the value of the question. Coming up. Bring a sweater, it's gonna be a Cold War. Let's get going. If the arms race had been decided by racing arms, the United States could have won by any of these margins except which? A humerus, a radius, a tibia, or an ulna? Oh, diarrhea! Here's what you should have picked. The tibia is part of the leg, which we used to kick the Soviets' ass. Yeah! You're next, China! Okay, buzz in and lock onto the highest... Ah, you blew it. Here's your category. Swift justice in the food court. Now, everyone knows about the famous landmark Supreme Court abortion rights case Roe v. Wade, right? Well, imagine a second Roe v. Wade case reaches the U.S. Supreme Court. What landmark issue could the case be about? Waterfowl jurisdiction, fish egg rights, green vegetable abuse, or cheese equity? Roe is another name for fish eggs.
Your Honors, I would attempt to show that my client, as god-awful tasting as he is, deserves the same rights as the rest of us.
All right, it's time to choose the best. Are you sitting down? Well, of course you are. You're at a computer. At any rate... Well, wouldn't you know it? It's time to play Dis or Dat. The category for this Dis or Dat is... You win some, you loser. Okay, I'm going to read off the names of 7 guys, and for each one, I want you to tell me if he won a presidential election, lost a presidential election, or both. For each right answer, you get some cash, and you lose cash for a wrong answer or any you don't get to. Okay, you got 30 seconds to nail all 7. And here we go. Clinton, one lost or both. Bush. Perot. Reagan. Carter. Ford. Nixon. go, 7 out of 7. Let's throw that into your total. All right, there it is. Let's keep moving. Now select the highest value and see if you hit the jackpot. I think we can work with that, and here's your category. Built like a brick millhouse. You know how Richard Milhouse Nixon said, "I am not a crook," when in fact he was as crooked as they come? Well, what transparent lie could Milhouse from The Simpsons tell the American people? I am not Homer Simpson's drinking buddy. I am not Chief Wiggum's son. I am not Bart Simpson's sidekick. Or, I am not a cashier at the Quickie Mart. Take it! Now write it on the chalkboard 100 times. Thing is, I always thought Milhouse looked like Kissinger. I mean, with the big nose, the glasses, you know. Hit your buzzer to choose the value of the next question. Okay, nice shot. Here's your category. Over-the-counter culture. Okay, get out your little round glasses and your tie-dyes, because I've got a little counterculture phrase for you to figure out. Turn on, blank, blank, and drop out. All right, which of the following completes this quote? Turn in, turn off, or tune out? Turn on, tune in, and drop out was ex-Harvard professor Timothy Leary's slogan in the 60s. And then at his death in 1996, Leary urged internet users to log on and sit in while he dropped out. Hit your buzzer to select the... All right, that's all right. Okay, here's your category. Color me impeached. You know how the book Primary Colors tries to pass as fiction even though it's obviously a satire of Bill Clinton's primary campaign? Well, if the thinly veiled characters in Primary Colors had been named for the 3 primary colors used in video imaging, who would not have been included? President Red, Secretary of State Blue, Senator Green, or Attorney General Yellow? Though artists include yellow in the primary color palette, video imaging uses red, blue, and green as the 3 primary colors. But considering all the bad press, the fictional president's primary colors are black and blue. Okay, hit your buzzer and try to snag that. My fellow Americans, I cannot tell a lie, but I can give you this clue. The land of milk and alphabets. Hey, look at this. If I turn the bowl slightly, I can spell dumbass. Okay, here we go. so close. Just as well no one was around to see it anyway.
One is for the heartache.
If you've ever been in love,
Two is for the tears.
or just had to do your taxes,
I'm itemizing the deductions you've taken through the years.
this album is for you.
I've got more than $400 of interest in you. Then I showed her my long form check here.
As sweet as your first kiss,
If you would like $1 of your love
and as painful as your first audit.
to go to my election campaign,
Tax Cuts, the new album by Darren Fick. In stores now.
you should take another deduction for being blind to my love.
Welcome aboard Advance Airlines. Sit back, relax. Our friendly flight crew will take excellent care of you.
Here, sir, your seatbelt needs to be good and tight.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you care for a foot massage?
We want your flight to be an extremely pleasurable and memorable experience.
I'll gladly help you stow your tray table, sir. I'll just need to sit on your lap.
May I put my arm around you, sir? Would you like to join our Mile High Club?
At Advance Airlines, we're getting our customers off the ground.
The catcher signal called for a brushback high and inside, but when I looked down at my bracelet, I thought, what would Satan do? So I beamed him in the head and turned all the fans' hot dogs into snakes.
Uh-oh, sounds like someone's drunk again.
I can drive fine. Give me my keys.
This week on another uproarious episode of Mean Drunk, Miriam doesn't hide David's scotch bottle well enough.
I should have married your sister.
And David's boss tries to get him to help himself.
Stick your 12 steps up your ass.
So tune in for another laugh-filled episode of Mean Drunk and see the show that America's Bar Guide called the most entertaining hour on television.
The f*** you looking at?
So, you think you know sushi? You and your other Yope-spawn friends think you know sushi? Well, you don't know sushi at all, not a wee bloody bit. Oh, you can sit in your fancy $70 a plate sushi cafes and impress your other human scabby friends and order California roll and think you're the sheep's wool. Well, you're nothing. You're sushi juniors and you make me sick. So from now on, you order sushi the real way, the proper way. You get McLeod sushi, or you don't eat it at all. McLeod's only uses real haggis. None of this simpy-wimpy fish snot. We only use haggis. Good Scottish minced haggis. And if you know it's good for you, you'll eat it too. So stop being a baby doll freak loser and leave that hair mousse alone because you're eating McLeod sushi from now on.
Hey folks, Crazy Ernie here, inviting you to come on down to Crazy Ernie's Discount Carpet and Mutual Fund Emporium. It's my 3rd anniversary blowout. That's right, I've got insane deals on wall-to-wall, large cap, small cap, shag, bond, Stainmaster, and concentrated healthcare. I must be out of my mind. I got active managed, I got no load. I got free installation. What must I be thinking? You want diversified international? I got them babies too. I'm mentally unstable. How about an IRA? I got regular, I got Roth. I got direct from factory outlet in every color. Crazy Ernie's Discount Carpet and Mutual Fund Emporium. I'm a threat to society as we know it.
How many times has this happened to you?
Daddy, what's the difference between absolute and relative surplus value according to Marx?
Go play with this ball, honey.
Middle-class buffoon.
Well, it won't happen again.
Look what I have for you, sugar.
The illustrated Das Kapital. Thanks, Daddy.
You're welcome, sweetie.
Brightly colored pictures help me understand the general law of capitalist accumulation. And the pop-up stick figures tell me all about heterogeneous and serial manufacture.
Yep.
There's even a scratch and sniff chapter about machinery and modern industry.
That's right, honey.
Daddy, you're the greatest. Now, can you tell me how the expression of female sexuality can challenge the patriarchal order?
I love you, pumpkin.
The Illustrated Das Kapital. Also available, the Gross Anatomy Book of Cutout Dolls and the Kama Sutra playset.
Tune in this week as 5 frosty finalists compete for the title of World's Strongest Snowman.
The crane is lowering the 200-pound corncob pipe into Snowball Bob's mouth. It's in place.
Oh, Snowball Bob just couldn't hang on to it.
Okay, the coal truck is backed up right beside Mr. Shivers. And here comes the coal out of the dump chute.
Oh,
It looks like Mr. Shivers did not hold up very well.
Carrot Nose will attempt to wrestle this polar bear. Ouch! The bear has taken a bite out of his carroty nose.
He should have used a button.
The world's strongest snowman competition. Are you snowman enough?
I must have seen Mortgage 50 times already, and I'm back for more.
I've never personally dealt with the pain of a foreclosure, but up there on stage with the singing and the dancing, Mortgage makes it seem so real.
I thought my kids' problems with ADD were something I had to hide, but it was so empowering to see that soccer mom fight.
My child doesn't listen. My child cannot sleep. Doped up on Ritalin, he always makes me weep. He cannot concentrate. He tries to masturbate.
I'd pay 15% plus 50 points to see Mortgage again.
I mean, just think about it. Pot-smoking teens, philandering husbands, mothers addicted to painkillers. It's got everything. Mortgage is the true suburbia.
It's not every day you see a couple from two different tax brackets, suffering from chronic fatigue syndrome, find true love.
I love the tax assessor.
Drive the babysitter home. Will my hand begin to roam? Can't be more than sweet 16.
Don't worry, we won't be seen.
My appraisal, I give it a prime rate.
I'm just glad they left the ending open for a second mortgage.
Mortgage, the musical everyone's talking about. Playing at a community theater near you.